Hey everyone, Coach Johnson here with another weekly activity for you called Tic Tac Throw. Okay, Tic Tac Throw is a PE or modified version of Tic Tac Toe, except instead of playing it on a sheet of paper or a whiteboard or something, you're going to play it while you toss things, okay, like a pair of socks, a balled up piece of paper or something. But anyway, as always, before we get started, we want to stretch and warm up. So if you haven't stretched and warmed up yet, press pause on the video. Go stretch, warm up, get loose, get the arm going, get that upper body nice and loose. Come back, press play, and follow along as best you can. Okay, so Tic Tac Throw is a simple game that you can play at home with a variety of household items. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a clear, safe space to play. All right, and then you're going to need some objects to make a grid. Okay, and the grid is going to be 9 pieces total in a 3x3 setup. It should look something like this.
Here is what your grid should look like. It should be 9 spots total set up in a 3x3 pattern. I know not everyone is going to have spots like this, and in a moment I'll show you some things from around the house that you can use to make your own grid. You can use shoes. You can use a couple of belts and a couple of ties. You can use magazines you find lying around the house. You can use cups, but make sure they're plastic, styrofoam, and not glass, because we don't want them to fall and break. So plastic or styrofoam, paper works. Ooh. Or you can use some paper. This is construction paper so you can see it easier, but notebook paper, line paper works just as good.
Okay, I know not everybody's going to have the spots like I have here, so that's why I showed you some other things that you can do. That's not the only things that you can use. You can do other things as well to make your grid, but as long as it's 9 squares or 9 spaces in a 3x3 setup, you should be good to go. Okay? There's also a variety of things that you can use to throw. I'm going to use socks because that seems to be the best thing for me. They land pretty soft and don't bounce or roll around a ton. But you can use balled up pieces of paper. You can use bean bags if you've got them. The socks work great. Anything that you can toss and it'll land and not go all over the place and not break anything. Okay? And our socks, like in the other game, you're going to want to, for best results, you're going to want to take them apart and make them into single little sock balls instead of 2 socks in one. Right? And then you've got multiples. If you're going to play by yourself, get you a handful. These are each individual socks balled up into a little piece. I got about 6 or 7 of them here because if I throw a miss, I don't want to have to go and get them to try again. Obviously, if you don't have that many, that's fine. If you only have 3 or 4, that'll work. But you set up your grid, take a couple of steps back, all right? And then you're going to try to toss it onto the grid and get it to land on one of the spots. Ooh. Ah. All right, so now I'm going to go, if it's close to one of them, I'm going to put it more on there so I know where it's at. As of right now, I got 2 across the top and 1 along the side, so I'm still trying to get 3 in a row. Ooh. Oh! All right, I'll take the ones that I miss. All right, and now I got 3 in a row. As you can see, that took me about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 or 8 throws to get 3 in a row from pretty close. So it can be a little bit more difficult than it looks, but if you're playing by yourself, just see if you can get it in as few amount of throws as possible. Obviously, 3 being the least amount. Here's all the different ways that you can get 3 in a row.
There are a lot of different ways you can get 3 in a row. You can get it going across the top, the middle, or the bottom. You can get it going up and down, the left, the middle, or the right. And you can also get it going diagonally across, like this, or like this.
Okay, if you were gonna play with two people, you could, you wanna make sure that you've got two different colored things that you're throwing. All right, so if I was using the socks, I've got white socks and I've got black socks. If I was using paper balls, if you don't have different colored paper, you can get a marker or something and mark one of the sheets of paper when you tear it up and make little balls out of it, so you know whose is whose. But then you're gonna take turns, all right? So I'll toss one of the black socks first, okay? And then the person with the white socks would throw next. You can't land it on the same spot as them, so I gotta try to stay away from that spot and find another one to make 3 in a row. All right, if it lands a little bit off, you wanna go up and move it so it's clear where the socks are in between each person's throw. So then it will be the next person's turn. Okay, like I said, you try to get it there, it's a little off, just slide it back so we know where you're trying to get to. Whew. See, if I was tossing black, I missed, so I left the door wide open for the person with the white socks to win, and they missed too, so then you would keep going. It needs to be touching the spot in order for it to count. All right, that one was touching the one I was aiming for, so that was 3 in a row for the black socks, okay? If you're playing by yourself or with a family member, once you get kind of good at it and you're tossing and you're getting 3 in a row easily, maybe back up a little bit further, get creative, toss with your other hand, see if you can toss behind your back, something like that. But always make sure that what you're tossing is soft and not going to hurt anything. Make sure that your grid is 3 by 3, 9 pieces total, and try to have fun, be safe, and have a good time, guys. See you next time.